Yin never expected to become a wife at such a young age, 22 years old. Just 1 week after her graduation, she was arranged to be married by her parents. She didn't refuse, because in her view, there was no valid reason to. She agreed, trusting that her parents' choice would be the best for her. Jungkook. His name was already well known in Korea's underworld. At only 25, Jungkook had become the successor of his father's company and had taken over leadership of the organization. He also accepted the arranged marriage with an open heart. He thought Yin was suitable to be his wife. She was beautiful and pleasant, even though he knew the girl was quite spoiled and talkative, the opposite of his independent and quiet nature. They both had committed to opening their hearts to one another. And earlier this afternoon, their wedding ceremony was held. Now they were officially husband and wife. "Are you afraid of me?" Jungkook asked. Yin, who had been lost in thought, blinked in surprise. "Afraid? Not really," she answered softly. "Then why are you just standing there?" As if waking from a daze, Yin chuckled awkwardly. Since entering their bedroom, she hadn't moved from the doorway. Her mind was still lingering on the arranged marriage that ended in today's wedding. To be honest, she was still nervous. This would be her first time sleeping next to a man. "Come here," Jungkook invited. He removed his tuxedo and draped it over the sofa, revealing the long white shirt he still hadn't changed since the reception. His sharp eyes observed Yin as she slowly approached. Yin glanced around the room. To her surprise, Jungkook's bedroom was very clean and tidy. She also liked the pleasant scent in the room. "This room feels too empty," she commented without thinking, causing Jungkook to raise an eyebrow. Jungkook gave a faint smile. "I don't really like keeping unnecessary things around. Can I add some flowers and paintings to make this room feel more alive? It's too quiet." Yin asked for Jungkook's approval as she sat in front of her husband, who was now sipping a glass of water. Yin blinked. She couldn't help the blush creeping onto her cheeks. Just watching Jungkook's Adam's apple move as he drank made her flustered. Damn, his handsomeness was no joke. "Up to you," Jungkook replied lightly. "This bedroom is yours to now. You're free to add whatever you want. Just don't go overboard." "What if we hang a large photo of our wedding here?" Yin asked excitedly. Jungkook glanced at her briefly, his hands busy unbuttoning his shirt. "Yeah, do whatever you want." Yin's smile widened as she nodded. Her mind was already buzzing with ideas of what items to add to this room. "Take a shower first. I'll use the bathroom next door." Suddenly, Yin pouted. "I didn't bring a change of clothes," she admitted hesitantly. "Last night my mom and the maid didn't remind me. I thought they had packed it for me, but they hadn't," she complained again. Silently, Jungkook smiled faintly. It was true. His wife was quite spoiled. "You're a grown woman now. You're a wife. Don't keep relying on your mom or the maid," Jungkook reminded her in his usual flat tone, especially over something trivial like clothes. Yeah, I just forgot. Someone will deliver my things here tomorrow anyway," Yin defended herself. "Just wear my clothes for now," Jungkook offered. "Which ones?" "Anything, as long as you're comfortable." Yin nodded. She watched as Jungkook stepped out of the room. A heavy sigh escaped her lips. That awkward feeling still lingered. Even though they had 1 month before the wedding, they hadn't used the time well to grow closer, mostly because Jungkook was always too busy to go on dates. Yin pouted. Her husband was stiff and cold. Meanwhile, she wanted a man who was warm, like her father. "But my dad is only warm to me and mom," Yin murmured. "That means Jungkook can be like that too," she smiled. "He'll definitely grow warm toward me." That was Yin's hope. 1 hour later, the two of them were now on the bed. Yin was lying stiffly on her back, covering herself with the blanket up to her neck. Meanwhile, beside her, Jungkook was still sitting, leaning against the headboard with a laptop on his lap. Yin was nervous, but also relieved to see that Jungkook was still busy. So she tried to pretend to be asleep, although of course, she knew she wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. But just 5 seconds after she closed her eyes, she heard Jungkook shut his laptop, place it on the nightstand, and slowly lie down beside her, close enough that she could feel his presence. Slowly, his hand wrapped around her stomach. Yin couldn't help but open her eyes and saw Jungkook's face now just inches from hers. Their eyes met. "Are you sleepy already?" he asked softly. Yin didn't answer right away. She seemed to think for a moment, then nodded her head, only to quickly shake it afterward. Jungkook frowned in confusion. "What does that mean? Yes or no?" "No, I'm not sleepy yet," Yin finally replied. "You know what married couples usually do on their wedding night?" Jungkook's body slowly moved, hovering over her. His strong arms were propped on either side of her, preventing him from putting any weight on her smaller frame. He gave a faint smile. His wife looked so adorable right now. Yin nodded hesitantly. Her eyes shifted nervously. She was a bundle of nerves and curiosity. Who wouldn't be when she was now lying beneath the broad figure of him? What is it? Jungkook asked deliberately. My mom once told me that on my first night, I should try to get close and open my heart to my husband, so I should do it willingly. Do what? Jungkook raised one eyebrow. He wanted to see if this pampered girl really understood what a wedding night meant. Yin's face turned even redder. She was embarrassed to say it out loud, but his intense gaze silently told her she had to answer. That, making love, she answered quietly. Jungkook chuckled softly. She was so cute, still shy. Are you ready? My mom said I should. Not what your mom said. Jungkook cut her off gently. Are you ready? Can I say I'm not? Jungkook paused for a second. Of course, if you're not ready, I won't do anything, but I need to know, what's the reason you're not ready? Yin smiled. I am ready, and I'm curious too, she said, smiling wider. Curious? Jungkook repeated with a small, teasing smile. Yin nodded, her cheeks growing even redder, her eyes unable to hide the truth. There was still a trace of nervousness lingering, but her curiosity was beginning to outweigh everything else. He looked at her face, shy, yet still brave enough to hold his gaze. Their breaths were already warm against each other. In that case, Jungkook whispered, I'll start now. Jungkook slowly leaned down and finally kissed Yin's lips gently, the beginning of everything they would share that night. 1 week later. Good morning, Jungkook, Yin greeted cheerfully. She quickly kissed the corner of Jungkook's lips and smiled. Jungkook glanced at the wall clock. It was only 6 a.m. Strange, Yin was already awake. Usually, she would only get up when Jungkook was ready to leave for work. You're finally awake. I've been waiting 10 minutes for you to wake up, she said enthusiastically. Jungkook frowned. Do you need something? The sweet smile on Yin's lips slowly disappeared, replaced by a slight pout. I don't need anything, she denied. I just want to try being a good wife. My mom said a wife should wake up before her husband. Yin grabbed her phone. She showed him the alarm she'd set, so I won't oversleep anymore, she chuckled. Starting today, I'll wake up earlier than you. Jungkook sighed. You don't need to force yourself like this. If you're still sleepy, just go back to bed. Yin shook her head. No, I have to try. My mom said I need to learn how to be a good wife. She pointed to the bathroom door. I've prepared warm water for your bath. Go on. Seeing his wife's excited face, Jungkook couldn't bring himself to say no. He smiled gently and stroked her head briefly. Thank you. Yin nodded enthusiastically with a wide smile. This morning, she truly felt like a useful wife, not just useful for what happened on bed. Now, she hurried to the walk-in closet to pick out Jungkook's clothes. Shh. It's so hot, Jungkook muttered. He'd only dipped 1 foot into the bathtub, but it was already burning. She probably didn't check the water temperature. Jungkook exhaled slowly. He wasn't angry. Yin had tried, and he appreciated that. He adjusted the temperature himself to keep his skin from burning, but this proved that Yin likely never adjusted the water temperature herself when bathing. Maybe she really had been pampered her whole life, and considering she only ever bathed after Jungkook left for work, maybe even here, the maid usually prepared the water for her. Yin was still waiting at the edge of the bed when Jungkook finished his bath. She smiled. All done? Jungkook nodded. I picked out your work clothes, she added with a sparkle in her eyes. Jungkook looked at her intently. Yin. Yes? Next time, when preparing bath water, check the temperature first. Yin blinked rapidly. Why? Was it too hot or too cold? Hot. Jungkook answered simply. You could burn your skin if you bathe in water that hot. Are you used to bathing in water like that? Yin looked confused. Finally, she admitted. I didn't think to check. Every time I bathe, the water's already perfectly prepared by the maid. Jungkook fell silent. His suspicion was correct. Even her bath water was prepared by others. I'm sorry, Jungkook. I'll make sure to check it for you next time. Jungkook gave a faint smile. It's alright. I usually prepare it myself anyway. He then looked at the clothes Yin had picked and frowned slightly. I don't usually wear bright colors. I don't like them. Yin frowned. If you don't like them, why do you have some bright colored clothes? Oh, those. My mom bought them, but I never wear them. I've already told her I don't like flashy, bright colors, but she keeps buying them anyway. Alright then. I'll pick out darker ones. Yin. Jungkook called quickly. Yin immediately stepped closer. I don't expect you to do any of this. I didn't ask you to wake up early to prepare water or choose my clothes. I can do all of that myself. So don't feel burdened by all this. I know you're not used to it. Yin shook her head. I'm not used to it now, but eventually I will be. Don't worry. I'm not doing this out of obligation. I'm happy to be useful to you. So if there's anything I can help with, just let me know, okay? Jungkook fell silent, wanting to say more, but not wanting to dampen her enthusiasm. Alright, he said finally. A few days later. Today, Jungkook once again found that the hot water that Yin had prepared was not as he wanted. This time, it was too cold. The outfit she picked out was correct, but the tie didn't match, so Jungkook still had to find a better one himself. Jungkook sighed. It had been several days, yet his wife still didn't quite get it right. But once again, Jungkook didn't want to correct her too much. Once was enough. If he kept pointing things out, he worried Yin would take offense. Jungkook knew she was still learning. Maybe she just needed more time. Good morning, Jungkook. Yin greeted cheerfully as Jungkook came down to the dining table. After preparing Jungkook's clothes earlier, Yin hurried downstairs. She wanted to make something for her husband. Morning, Jungkook replied briefly. He sat down calmly, frowning when Yin kept smiling at him from across the table. What's with you? I made coffee for you, she said excitedly, pointing to a cup of coffee already set on the table. Not the maid, he asked, since the maid usually made his coffee. Yin shook her head. Nope, I made it. Try it, okay? It's my first time making coffee. Jungkook eyed the coffee uncertainly. Even the maid had taken a while to get the coffee just right for his taste, and now Yin, who'd never done it before, had made him one. He wasn't sure how it would taste, but seeing Yin's hopeful face, he couldn't refuse. Yin smiled nervously as Jungkook lifted the cup. When the coffee touched his tongue, Jungkook's brow furrowed. It was very sweet, and his taste buds couldn't handle it. What's wrong? It doesn't taste good? Yin asked anxiously, seeing the look on his face. How many spoons of sugar did you add? 2, Yin replied innocently. No wonder. 2 teaspoons of sugar in a small cup of coffee. Of course, it was overly sweet, unless someone really loves sugary drinks. You didn't ask the maid first before making it? They were in the backyard, so I made it myself. Jungkook exhaled softly. It's too sweet, Yin, he said gently. Yin's eyes widened. She immediately stood up and rushed to him. Way too sweet? She asked with a guilty smile. Here, I'll make a new one. No need. Let the maid take care of it later. Just sit here. Let's have breakfast together, okay? But Yin, being stubborn, shook her head. She still reached for the coffee cup, even though Jungkook tried to keep it out of her reach. No, Jungkook, I have to take responsibility. I'll make a new one. She tried to grab the cup. Jungkook didn't stop her. It was pointless once Yin was in her stubborn mode. But as she lifted the cup, she accidentally hit the edge of the table, which was quite sharp. Yin flinched, causing the coffee to spill onto Jungkook's clothes. Shh! The hot coffee turned his skin red, and his shirt was soaked with the stain. Jungkook, I'm so sorry, Yin exclaimed in guilt. I didn't mean to. Her voice trembled. I'll get some cold water. Wait here. Yin was about to rush off, but Jungkook stopped her. No need. Just call the maid to clean this up. I'll head upstairs for a bit. Yin stared at Jungkook's back with an uneasy feeling. Guilt crept into her heart. She only wanted to be a good wife by preparing Jungkook's needs, but her carelessness had led to a series of mistakes. Yin let out a harsh sigh and lowered her head. Even though Jungkook wasn't angry, she could see those black eyes looking at her with coldness. Jungkook had to postpone a meeting because he arrived late at the office. All of this happened because he needed time to treat the burn on his hand and change clothes. Known as a highly disciplined boss, for the first time, Jungkook came late to work. You're late today, that's unusual, said Jaehyun, Jungkook's personal assistant, who was also his friend back in college. There was a little incident earlier. Jaehyun straightened up, his face turning serious. What kind of incident? Were you being chased by enemies again? Or were you in a shootout or a fight? Jaehyun was clearly worried. He knew very well that Jungkook's life was far from safe, no matter where he was. Jungkook scoffed. It's not about enemies, he replied lazily. Those enemies would think twice before messing with me, he added confidently. Jaehyun rolled his eyes in annoyance. Indeed, in the dark world, Jungkook's name was infamous. Anyone planning to attack him had to think twice if they didn't want to die first. Then what is it? Jungkook gave Jaehyun a flat look. Jaehyun. Yeah? You're meddling too much in my business, Jungkook chuckled. He was clearly satisfied seeing Jaehyun scowl in annoyance. You're so annoying, Jaehyun muttered. I can't imagine how sweet Yin puts up with you, he added sarcastically. Poor girl. Jungkook leaned back on his chair, and once again, his mind drifted to his wife's clumsiness. He let out a long breath and closed his eyes. He had to keep reminding himself that Yin had been a pampered child, so it was understandable if she still made mistakes. Tonight, Jungkook was buried in documents in his study. In front of him, the laptop screen glowed, displaying numbers and graphs that made his head ache. Suddenly, "Come in." "Jungkook." Yin peeked her head in after he gave her permission to enter. Jungkook gave her a faint smile and looked at her. "What is it?" Yin grinned and entered the study carrying a tray. "I made you some coffee. I heard you always drink coffee while working." Jungkook raised an eyebrow. He placed the document he had been reading to the side. "You're not asleep yet?" Instead of responding to her words, Jungkook was more intrigued by the fact that his wife still looked fresh at 10 p.m. Yin shook her head, her steps careful. "Not yet. I'm not sleepy," she replied. "I've been learning how to make good coffee. I already tasted it. Not too sweet, not too bitter, just right. I'm sure you'll like it." Jungkook gave her a small smile. He liked seeing Yin's excited and eager expression. He couldn't deny it. Her presence added color to his previously monotonous and rigid life. This woman, who had been his wife for a month, made him feel calmer and more at peace. Complete. Jungkook chuckled as Yin quickly walked over to him. The spark in her eyes made her look even more beautiful. But suddenly, ugh. Jungkook's smile vanished instantly when Yin, in her usual clumsiness, spilled the coffee all over the important documents he had been working on. Jungkook stared blankly at the now soaked papers. He was already exhausted from working all day. He had to work late tonight because of those damn documents, and now he was left speechless, seeing them ruined. Jungkook's chest burned. He looked sharply at Yin, who now winced. Yin quickly stood up. Her leg ached a little from bumping into the chair. As usual, she was still careless, even though she had warned herself to be careful. Her eyes widened when she saw the coffee spilled on Jungkook's desk. "Jungkook, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to," Yin said hurriedly, guilt surging in her chest. She moved to clean the spill, but... "Stop." Jungkook's cold voice halted her steps. Her mind went blank. His piercing gaze made her shrink. "Don't touch anything on my desk." Jungkook's voice wasn't loud, but Yin knew he was angry. "Jungkook, I'm sorry. I really... Enough. You can leave now." Jungkook's voice remained low. "Jungkook, please. Leave Yin." The shout made Yin flinch. She bowed her head, frightened. Her body froze. She had never been yelled at before. Her parents always spoke to her gently. Yin was stunned, in shock. Jungkook's breathing grew heavier. His anger surged. He stared at Yin with intensity. He had tried to be patient with all her clumsiness, but this time, she had made a fatal mistake. "Do you know I worked overtime just to finish these documents? Do you know how long we've been working on the project detailed in those files?" He and all of his employees had worked hard to secure a big project, and the documents contained crucial material for tomorrow's presentation to the client. "Why do you always mess things up?" "Jungkook, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to," Yin kept repeating, even though she knew it was pointless. Her voice choked with held-back sobs. Jungkook scoffed and looked at Yin with disdain. "You're just a spoiled woman. You can't do anything right," he hissed sharply. "All this time you were trying to help me?" Jungkook gave a bitter chuckle. "In reality, you've only been holding me back. Everything's a mess because you're incompetent." Yin's eyes widened in shock. Her tear-filled eyes stared at Jungkook in disbelief. "You don't need to do anything for me anymore," Jungkook said firmly. "I can handle it myself. You'd be better off just taking care of yourself." Yin's heart tightened. It hurt so much. The pain in her heart made her tears finally fall. She truly didn't mean it. She only wanted to be a helpful wife to Jungkook. But everything she had done turned out to be in vain. Jungkook was annoyed by her instead. Yin swallowed hard. "I'm sorry," she whispered again. "If all I ever do is ruin things." Her sobs finally escaped. "I'm sorry." Her tears disturbed him. Her soft, broken voice made him blink rapidly. He wanted to embrace her frail body, but his anger was still in control. Jungkook turned his face away. "Leave." This time, without being told twice, Yin left the room. Her tears flowed uncontrollably. Her heart ached terribly. All her efforts had been in vain. "Damn it," Jungkook growled, punching the wall of the room. His fist clenched. He didn't care about the blood dripping from the harsh impact between his skin and the wall. His breath was erratic. His blood boiled. Something was wrong. He admitted something was wrong with how he'd acted, but seeing those ruined documents had truly set him off. He picked up his phone and quickly called someone. Jaehyun, postpone tomorrow's meeting with the client. He slumped back after the call, massaging his now throbbing temples. He took the coffee cup that still had a little left. He sipped it slowly. Jungkook smiled sorely. "You were right. The taste is perfect." After last night's incident, Yin and Jungkook gave each other the silent treatment. Yin was upset, still hurting from Jungkook's harsh words, while Jungkook hadn't gotten over the fact that Yin had ruined his documents. This morning, Yin even deliberately stayed in bed until her husband left for work. What for? Jungkook didn't need her anyway. Yin's face instantly lit up when she saw her mother's name appear on her phone screen. It had been a while since she last spoke with her mom. "Hi, Mom," Yin greeted cheerfully. Her mom couldn't suspect that she had just cried again this morning. "Hi, sweetheart. Are you doing well?" Yeri asked. "I'm fine, Mom. What's up?" "Good. I believe Jungkook is treating you well," her mother said, making Yin smile bitterly. "So, I'm going to visit your grandma in 2 days." "To Japan?" "Yes. To Japan. She's sick and wants me to come visit, but I'll be going alone. Your dad can't come because he has work out of town." Hearing that, an idea suddenly popped into her head. "Mom, can I come with you? I want to see Grandma too," she asked. Yuri smiled widely on the other end. "Of course, I'd be happy to have you come. I wouldn't have to go alone," she chuckled. "But sweetheart, you have to ask Jungkook for permission first. If he doesn't allow it, then you can't come." "How about you ask him instead?" she suggested. If her mother were the one to talk to him, he would most likely agree out of respect. But more than that, Yin was pretty sure Jungkook wouldn't care. Whether she came or not wouldn't make a difference to him. He didn't need her. That's what Yin believed now. She was simply too tired to talk to Jungkook after what happened last night. "Alright, I'll call him later," Yeri replied cheerfully. She was glad, after all, it had been a while since she had traveled with her daughter. "Okay, Mom." "Alright then, I'll call Jungkook now." "Okay, bye Mom." That night, when Jungkook came home, he didn't find his wife in the mansion. "Where's my wife?" he asked one of the bodyguards. "She said she wanted to go to her parents' house, sir. The driver has already taken her there." Mrs. Yin said she would leave for the airport from her parents' house, the bodyguard replied. Jungkook frowned. His mother-in-law had said they would leave for Japan in 2 days. Yin should still be home. Why did she leave without saying anything to me? Jungkook felt a twinge of annoyance. But again, still caught up in his emotions, Jungkook didn't think much of it. He headed straight to the bedroom to rest. It had only been 3 days since Yin left, yet Jungkook already felt an unusual restlessness. Something felt empty, quiet, hollow. The house was too silent without Yin's chatter or the light steps that often wandered aimlessly around. This morning felt different. Usually, when he came out of the bathroom, he would find Yin at the dressing table, drying her hair while humming softly. But not today. The dressing table was empty, silent, no sound at all. Even Yin's perfume bottle felt too still in its place. Jungkook let out a soft sigh, then walked downstairs. His feet carried him toward the dining room, but his steps halted. His eyes landed on the chair where Yin usually sat. The dining table felt too quiet. Usually, Yin would be busy arranging breakfast or casually complaining about how her appetite hadn't returned yet. Jungkook sat down in the chair, but didn't touch anything. His hand lifted, touching his left arm. The memory of Yin clinging affectionately to it, hugging his arm while laughing or leaning sleepily, made his chest tighten. Too vivid, too deeply etched in his memory. 2 more days, Jungkook. Just 2 more days and you'll see Yin again. His inner voice tried to encourage him. According to his mother-in-law, they were supposed to be in Japan for 5 days. Yin should return to Seoul in 2 days. But Jungkook's heart felt uneasy. Somehow, 2 days felt far too long. 3 days had passed. Yin should have come home yesterday. But up until now, his wife still hadn't shown up. Jungkook was frustrated. There shouldn't be a problem. After all, Yin had gone with her mother. But even so, he couldn't focus on work. He was starting to worry, so he pushed aside his pride and called her. "Hello, Yin. Why haven't you come home yet?" Jungkook asked immediately as Yin picked up the call. "I arrived back in Korea yesterday," she replied flatly. "Why didn't you contact me?" Jungkook pressed. He had been worried, afraid something had happened to her. Now he felt slightly relieved. "I didn't think it was necessary." Jungkook frowned. That tone, it didn't sound like her. The Yin he knew was always sweet and cheerful. "I want to stay at my parents' house for a while. I still miss them." "But Yin..." "That's enough, Jungkook. I'm hanging up now." The call was cut off abruptly. Jungkook stared blankly at the phone, its screen now dark. His heart and mind were at war. Hearing that unfamiliar voice made Jungkook certain something was wrong with his wife. "Is she avoiding me?" he muttered, frustrated. "I can't. I need to see her." Jungkook finally pushed aside his pride. He had to go see Yin and bring her back to the mansion. And for the first time ever, Jungkook chose to leave work early, leaving Jaehyun shaking his head in disbelief. Jungkook was warmly welcomed by his in-laws. In front of Yin's parents, he and Yin appeared to be doing just fine, especially since Yin's father happened to be home as well. He had just returned from a business trip and had taken the day off. I've actually been telling Yin to go back home since yesterday, but she said she still misses us, Yeri chuckled. Well, Yin has always been clingy with us since she was little. Such a spoiled girl, added Gi-hoon, Yin's father. So, may I take Yin home now, Mom? Jungkook asked politely. Oh, of course you may, Yeri replied enthusiastically. Husbands and wives shouldn't be apart for too long. It only makes the longing worse, she teased, winking at both Yin and Jungkook, who were now seated across from them. Yin and Jungkook forced smiles. Jungkook was longing, but he wasn't sure if Yin felt the same. She had been quiet the whole time, acting as if Jungkook wasn't even there. During the conversation, she responded mostly to Yeri and Gi-hoon, but Yin was good at pretending, so her parents didn't suspect a thing. The car they were riding in was silent. The only sound came from the soft hum of the engine. Jungkook had deliberately left the music off. Yin turned her face away, more interested in looking out the side window than facing Jungkook like she usually did. Her heart still ached when she recalled Jungkook's harsh words. If she had the choice, Yin would still prefer to avoid him. She needed peace, but that wasn't possible when it involved their parents. How's Grandma doing? Jungkook asked, trying to break the ice. He hated this quiet Yin. It felt unnatural. She's fine. Did you go anywhere while you were there? Japan has a lot of great places. I was there to visit her, not for a vacation. Jungkook ran out of words. Yin's tone made it clear she didn't want to talk to him. For someone like Jungkook, who never really learned how to make small talk, this was especially difficult. Are you still mad? He finally asked. That got Yin to look at him. Why should I be mad? I was the one at fault, wasn't I? Yin replied, her voice flat. Checkmate. Jungkook was completely speechless. Yin was back at Jungkook's mansion. She was physically within his reach. He could see her, hear her chatting and laughing with the maids just like before. But her attitude toward him had changed. She was still giving him the cold shoulder, only speaking when necessary. She no longer tried to help him with his needs or prepare things for him like she used to. Yin was close, but felt so distant. His wife was deliberately keeping her distance from him. It frustrated Jungkook. He had to talk to her. He still wanted to save their marriage. Yin, come with me, he said firmly. Jungkook's dominant tone made her swallow hard. A chill ran down her spine. Even though she was ignoring him, it didn't mean she wasn't paying attention. She was simply protecting her own heart. Now they were here, together, on the bedroom balcony. Yin sat on the couch, while Jungkook stood by the railing, eyes fixed on his wife, who was purposely avoiding his gaze. Yin, are you still mad? Still. Yin remained silent. She didn't answer, didn't even look at him. Jungkook let out a heavy sigh. He crouched down in front of her. Yin flinched in surprise and instinctively tried to move away, but his strong arms caged her in. She shot him a sharp glare, but Jungkook smiled gently, relieved that at least she was finally looking at him. Are you still mad? He repeated, his voice soft. I have no right to be angry. I was the one at fault, Yin replied flatly. I stayed silent to protect myself and my heart. Jungkook's heart ached. He missed Yin's smile, the smile that was always there just for him. Please don't blame me again this time. You've said that everything I do is always wrong and never good enough. So, if I stay quiet, would that be wrong too in your eyes? What exactly do you want from me? Baby, I'm sorry, Jungkook said. It was the first time Jungkook had called her that. I know I was too much that day. Jungkook knew he had to make things right. I yelled at you. I scolded you. I was wrong. He gently cupped Yin's cold cheek, relieved that she didn't push him away. You've tried so hard to be a good wife to me. You've learned to take care of me. I should have appreciated all of that, not snapped at you. But you said I only made a mess, that I couldn't do anything right. Yin's voice cracked, holding back her sob as she recalled his harsh words. Jungkook closed his eyes. Seeing Yin in pain because of him was even more suffocating than he imagined. Forgive me, baby. I lost control. His gaze softened. You're a good wife. Since you came into my life, everything's been more colorful. I just didn't want us to be burdened with things that don't have to be your responsibility. I don't want you to feel pressured to do things that aren't necessary. Yin shook her head quickly. But my mom said a wife should help her husband and take care of him as a form of care and respect. Yes, that's true, but not in an absolute way. Whatever the maids can do, let them do it. It's their job, unless it's something they can't do, Jungkook replied patiently. Yin frowned. Then what are the things only I can do that the maids can't? Making breakfast and coffee, they can do those. You don't need to go through the trouble. You don't even have to wake up early just to prepare hot water for me. I'm used to doing that myself. If you're still sleepy, just sleep in. And as for choosing clothes, mine are already laid out. I just pick them. So really, I don't want you to feel burdened by things that are fine even if you don't do them. Yin frowned again. So, I'm really a useless wife then? Jungkook smiled and gently patted her head. I married you to be my wife, not a maid. Just do what only a wife can do. Yin's confused expression made Jungkook chuckle, and her innocent face made it hard for him not to kiss her cheek. You sleep with me. Before, I had no one to hold. Now I get to hold you every night. I used to sit here on this balcony alone. Now I have you to keep me company. That's what a wife means to me. That's it? Yin asked again, unimpressed because it sounded like her role was too small. Jungkook chuckled. You want me to explain in more detail, baby? He asked, holding back laughter while Yin stayed quiet, waiting for him to continue. Alright, another example. If I'm tired, you're the one who massages me, because I can't ask the maids for that. Then Jungkook smirked and leaned in slightly. And if I want to make love, it's you who should please me, because only you can do that. Hearing that, Yin lightly hit Jungkook's shoulder. Hey, you didn't have to say that. Jungkook chuckled again. I had to say it, baby, because no one else can replace you for that. Then his gaze softened again. So don't ever think you're useless. My life is full of color now because of you. Even if you just sit quietly like this without making coffee, what I need is your presence, your existence by my side, so I don't feel alone. That's what I long for. Yin smiled now. Alright, just don't end up thinking I'm a lazy wife. Jungkook chuckled again, ruffling her hair gently. I'd never think that of you, baby. Now they simply stared at each other. He was still crouched in front of her, or more precisely, kneeling before his wife, sitting on the balcony sofa. I missed you so much, Jungkook said softly, almost in a whisper. Honestly, I missed you too, Yin replied, her smile finally returning. Then Jungkook gave her a smirk. Didn't you say you want to be a useful wife for me? Yin nodded, her eyes narrowing suspiciously. I really miss you right now. I want to hug you, kiss you, and more. Would you do that for me? Yin smiled and immediately hugged him. Not long after, she kissed him. Jungkook smiled and returned her kiss and embrace. He had missed his wife so deeply, and today, he wanted nothing more than to hold her in his arms all day long on their bed.